I would have an OnlyFans in a second if I could pull it off. If I was.
Why don't you?
Cause then, like, I don't know, like I'm not in shape, and then what?
Why do you have to post that?
Oh no, that's what it's for. I'm making money. If I'm not here just to like have fun on another paid subscription. I'm making money. Train.
Hi, you can do it.
Ooh. This week, our heroes talk about winning at the stock market. The Mighty Ducks are back, yahoo! And we talk about Dan's OnlyFans account. All this and more in this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. I'm ready for my close-up. I've tried this like 100 times. I can't keep a straight face through this. That's it. That's the intro. Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We're good for your ears. I'm Dan, and you can find me everywhere at RFS Dan.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me everywhere at Gone to the Snow Dogs and wherever else I am.
Crazy. You can find me going crazy.
Yeah, right.
Going crazy. Jess, do you like the Bangles? You know that band?
Yes.
Oh man, I went on
That's the Manic Monday.
It's Manic
right?
Monday. It's Walk Like an Egyptian.
Walk Like an Egyptian. Yep.
There's more hits. The other day I was sitting there, and the thing about having like Spotify or anything like that is like you don't have to have the songs bouncing around in your head anymore. You can play them and get them out.
Right.
So when I think of the Bangles, I think of me being like 11 or 12, like a kid, and I'm like, oh, those are good memories. Oh, that Bangles song was on, and I'm playing it in my head. I'm like, I don't have to. I have Spotify. So I was playing it on Spotify, and then it went to a bunch of other songs. I didn't realize how many hits the Bangles had.
They had quite a few. I can't think of any of the others from the top of my head, but I know every once in a while I'll hear a song and I'll be like, oh yeah, that was their song too.
Yep. Yeah, they have good songs. And oh, did I have a crush on the girl from the Bangles? I googled.
Did you try to walk like an Egyptian?
I googled her to see like what she was up to, and I mean, she's like 60 years old. She looks great. She looks great.
Right?
I didn't realize how much older she was than I was. But yeah, I don't know. It just popped into my head. I'm like, I like the Bangles, and then I started playing the Bangles. And what was the song? Oh, I could not get the stupid Queen song out of my head.
Which one?
Don't Stop Me Now.
Oh,
like the David Dobrik. Oh my gosh! And then I made the mistake on. I was like, well, just get it out of your head. Then I made a mistake of looking at the lyrics. And then now it's in my head. And then today in the shower, it was Tiny Dancer. I'm not sure what rabbit hole I'm going down, but now I feel like I'm going to have to play that.
Tiny Dancer was my mom and dad's wedding song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No, it's...
Yep, that was their wedding song.
Oh, so that's what it reminds you of?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've just been sucked down this weird 80s pop nostalgic rabbit hole.
You're getting prepared to watch The Muppet Show.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's a little bit further
do you think
back
Elton
than
John's...
that, but yeah.
Oh, well, they're all old episodes. They're not new episodes.
Elton John's on The Muppet Show. He did Crocodile Rock.
I was going to ask if he was going to come back for the new Muppet Show, but if there were a new Muppet Show, it'd probably be like... Who would be on it? It'd be like T-Pain.
Yeah, right.
They'd probably get one of the Paul brothers on there, and then it'd be bad PR.
Yeah. It would not be what it was.
It would not. That's only a few days away. We're into February. Oh my gosh, where did January go?
I know!
Dang, January went quick as heck.
Yeah. After last year, everything feeling like it went by so slow, I feel like this year is already like, oh, well, January's over. Okay. I should probably work on taxes.
Feel like last year went by fast at all.
I don't either. I feel like last year was very...
I think last year went by faster than what I think you think it went.
Yeah, see, I feel like last year just dragged. But I feel like it felt that way because we just weren't doing the things we normally do. You know, we didn't travel. You know, there was no, what was it? The year before, I think I came out to California 3 times. Mm-hmm. Like, I just feel like none of that happened, so I felt like it just dragged on.
See, opposite for me. I came to your place 3 times during this.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, right. I had quit my job, so I spent a full year trying to be a creator during the midst of craziness and a pandemic. Ooh, and the gas line going out, not having any hot water for a month, not having, it was event after event after event.
Yeah, I guess you kind of did have a...
crazy.
you came out here, and there was stuff that happened when you came out here. But yeah, I guess you had, constant stuff
It was constant stuff going on. I went and I put on the mascot uniform for the Jayhawks, who are now announced they're shutting down. So we have a minor league baseball field just hanging out in our town now. They were trying to play frisbee golf there. It's a beautiful place. I feel like we had a Gretzky center. Wayne Gretzky started a bunch of Gretzky centers, and we had one in our town, and now it's like a church. Like a gathering hall. I think they'll probably do something like that with Jethawks. Well, they'll turn it into some sort of like arena type thing. But it's only good for part of the time. It's cold and it's outdoors.
Yeah.
Really wish it was a minor league
hockey team.
That
was crazy too, because I remember you were pretty much going to get that job, and then they started shutting everything down one thing at a time.
They gave me the job, and I wasn't going to be the mascot. They did not want me in the mascot suit, which I learned really quickly. It was on my bucket list as one of my dreams as I wanted to be, and I learned quickly that I do not want to be a mascot. I can't. It's my personality is me on the outside, not me put inside a candy coated
stuffed inside of a suit,
which stunk like my hockey gear, by the way.
Right.
Poor mascots. But it was fun doing that for a day. They were gonna have me doing like audio visual like editing stuff a little bit, and then crowd work. Like go out there and mess with the crowd and stuff. And then so the day I got back it was the day I was doing that on that movie set for that movie. They hired and they wanted me to come in. And then like a day or two after that, the pandemic thing shut everything down. And then Major League Baseball shut down a lot of minor league baseball for forever. So that poor place is just gonna sit there. So there was a lot of stuff that happened for me in 2020. And when I look back on 2020, I know it was like a bad year. Even of all the weird stuff, it was eventful, but it didn't seem horrid.
Right.
For me.
Right. And I think that, it wasn't like it wasn't it was a bad year in general, but I think like same thing for us. I don't think it was a bad year. It was just different.
I've had worse
wasn't
years.
What I was used to.
Right. And I got the popular sickness.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my gosh,
you rounded out the end of 2020
so
with
trendy. If you'd have told me in May that I would get it before the end of the year, I would be a wreck and a mess.
Yeah.
All my life. Having it, I battled it 12 rounds. It TKO'd me, but in the end.
Right.
In the end, I'm the champion. So yeah, 2020 might be the most crazy year, not crazy year, but eventful year I've ever had in my life. Just quitting, period, and walking away from like societal stability.
Right.
That bike shop I worked at moved like they were like just a little bit up the street. They're like 20 something minutes away. I was out over that way the other day, and it was like 22 minutes to get home from there. And I'm going like, wow, like that would have been such a drive.
Yeah, that would have.
I mean,
compared to what you were doing.
Right. I have nothing to complain about, though, because, well, see, like here where I live, this is a commuter town. So Lancaster's right outside of Los Angeles, right? So we're about an hour out. We're still LA County, but we're on the edge. When I was younger, it was popular to move out here with all your money, live cheap, nice, easy commute down the 14 freeway to the top of LA. You can get to Burbank. You're right there by Hollywood. I can still get to Hollywood in an hour. We're a commuting town. You commute an hour to the base. It took me 45 minutes to get to the base. My dad would leave to work at Culver City. It would take him an hour and 10 minutes to get to work each day and back. We're a commuting town. Where you live, everybody works local, right? Like you don't have too many commuters.
In the town I live in, yeah, everybody pretty much works local, but outside of like there's a lot of people that live out in Posen, which is 20 miles away, that come all the way in town to work in our town. So we're like the town people come to work.
Okay, right,
so, like,
right.
I live in that town, but like there's a bunch of little cities and little towns outside of where I live, and they either come here or they go to, some people go all the way to Gaylord, some people go up to Sheboygan, so some people still have an hour drive, but it's an hour drive with like no traffic.
Right, it's
like Jamie's,
like when we come back from the airport.
Yeah, like Jamie's cousin's wife was a principal at a school in Gaylord. She took a job over there in Gaylord. Well, they live 20 minutes away from us here, so they're only about maybe 50 minutes or so to Gaylord. So she would drive back and forth to Gaylord. Sometimes she would stay overnight, like if she had a bunch of stuff going on, she would just stay overnight instead of driving all the way home. But yeah, she used to commute to Gaylord. She did that for 2 years, I think, until she got a job back here that she liked.
Yeah, that's hardcore. My brother-in-law did that. He worked down in Irvine, and I know only California people are going to know that. It's 2.5 hours. It's past Disneyland. He worked past Disneyland, and he lived here. So he would go back and he would leave and come home at like I would already would be in bed, but then he would start staying down there at like his like a cousin's house. But then he was gone all week. Like what kind of life is that? But eventually he worked his way up, and now he's launching rockets off of places for Boeing. Like he put in the work. Right. He put in the work. Right. But oh my gosh, what a commute! I didn't want to be a commuter.
for a long time, when we first moved up here from Detroit, my dad would, he stayed working down in Detroit until he could retire. So he stayed down there, and every Friday night he would make that 4.5-hour drive all the way here. He'd be here for the weekend. Sunday night, 8:00, he'd drive all the way home. He'd get up, he'd work all week, and then he'd drive back.
What a sacrifice!
We kept the house down there.
Yeah, what a sacrifice!
But he had to do it to be able, because he was so close to retirement.
Right.
There was no point, and we had to move up here so that I could go to a safe high school. That was the biggest thing. So it was like my dad couldn't retire yet, but we still needed to get the heck out of there.
Right, no Juggalo high for you. Yeah. But what a sacrifice. Like, so that's the one thing that I'm insanely turned off of is commuting for money. Like, even if you offered me a job that paid a ridiculous amount, I don't want to commute because my dad commuted and look where it got him.
Right.
He left before I was awake in the morning. He'd get home already after I ate dinner when I was a child. I'd only see him for a little bit. He just wanted to relax and off to bed he goes. And I'm like, well, that's, 3 hours round trip with no traffic every day that you have to spend in your car listening to whatever, Howard Stern or whatever else. I don't know what my dad was into. It was weird. Like when he died, he was still an adult to me. So we didn't have that, like how Blake and I have. And that's why I'm that way with Blake.
Right,
like we're like you need to know who I am as a human being, not just like a father dad figure. So I don't know if my dad was listening to Howard Stern or not. I don't think he would. He was a Ned Flanders, but but maybe so. So it's really a turnoff to have to commute for a job.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I don't know how we got on that topic. That's crazy. I did see though, and I still haven't seen this movie. I'm sorry, Bill Murray, but yesterday was Groundhog's Day.
It was.
And I don't get what Groundhog's Day is. The groundhog comes, he sees his shadow or whatever the gimmick is, and then we get 2 more weeks of winter or 12 more weeks of winter? 6 weeks of winter?
6. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, if he sees his shadow, we get, I don't remember which way it is, but it's either 6 more weeks of winter or spring comes when spring's supposed to come, and it's Puxatawny Phil.
Yes,
is the groundhog's name.
Yes,
and it's a thing. It's Philadelphia where they do that. That's where they have a big, and I'm sure because of COVID they don't have a big festival, but they have a huge big festival that goes around it, and they have this groundhog, and people come, and
it looks fantastic.
You can pretty much tell what's going to happen if it's sunny or cloudy.
Right, I'm sure it's tradition from whatever years ago. And I love what they wear. They have the big old like top hatty things on there. I do like that. I did say that people were able to live stream it. I guess it was up for live stream. I didn't watch the live stream, but people were live streaming it. And so I don't know if he saw a shadow or not or anything. And I still haven't seen Groundhog's Day. I think it's on Netflix for this month of February. I think it's.
I don't think it is. I think I think.
You have to still buy it.
It might be Netflix. There was a few streaming services, I guess. It was Pluto TV and.
Okay, well, Pluto's free.
I think it was Pluto, and there was another one that I saw that it was on because I was thinking about it the other day. I have it on DVD somewhere.
It's good though, right? Like I should watch it.
I like it. I mean, it's an old movie.
Oh yeah, and I know
old movie.
I don't have any quotes from it, and I didn't see the Bill Murray movie like A Christmas Carol. Scrooge. Oh no, I did see Scrooge. I liked Scrooge. I saw Scrooge when I was a kid, but I have not seen. I think
you should watch it. I think you would.
Okay,
like it.
I'll have to try it out again. I just thought that it was Happy Groundhog's Day, so Happy Groundhog's Day. I have been watching Cobra Kai. I finally jumped into it.
Oh, did you finally get back into it?
I was having an issue because I watched season 1 of Cobra Kai on YouTube, and then years passed, and we're done with season 3. Season 3 came out in January. Did you finish season 3? Because I am. They all ran together, so I watched like a 10-minute recap video, which recap videos on YouTube are amazing.
Right.
I watched a recap video. There were some things I had forgotten, so I'm like, okay, cool. And then I watched all of season 2, and it went into the first episode of season 3. So I've watched the first episode of season 3. There's this kid with a mohawk in it, and I forgot that if you guys, there's no spoilers in this Dane show. Just watch the show. It's almost the least common. It's like you don't need any brain cells to watch this show. Like it's not like that kind of show. So like the one dude shows up the very last episode of season 1 where he flips the script. He's got a mohawk. Yep. Then in season 2 he's got a red mohawk. And this is why everybody's been calling me Hawk. Like, you're like that Cobra Kai guy. Even my friend from Japan, Kochan, he's like, oh, you're Cobra Kai. And I'm like, what? And then I would see the things. So I'm watching this show.
Now you get it?
I'm watching this show, and I like this show. I'm having a good time with it. Insanely formulaic. Let me tell you, 2.5 montages per episode, and when the kids aren't montaging, it's child labor. Oh my God, everything in that show was child labor. Wax on, wax off. Do this, paint that, lift this rock. LaRusso, do something to yourself. He needs to eat a sandwich. He looks like leather stretched over a skeleton.
Lots of flashbacks.
Lots of flashbacks to the point where you told me, and I was telling Crystal this. I was like, Jess says she never watched Karate Kid. And then I started watching season 2. And I'm like, yeah, you did. It's just put in Fight Club versions where it's like in every little flashback. I thought it was cool how he went and saw his buddies again because the guy was dying in real life. So, you know, he got his last hurrah on television as an actor. But they really have milked every frame, every reference, every nuance. It's fan favorite. That's okay. But the child labor in this show and montages are ridiculous. It's crazy. So here's the thing with me and this Hawkeye. Like, you're not supposed to like him, but you kind of watch him evolve because he was kind of a bully and now he's rad. He was kind of like, he was picked on a lot. Right.
And that was the thing, yeah.
Which was like, I don't identify to him like that, but how do I root against him when he looks like me?
Right?
Like, so I don't know. Like, am I happy when he's kicking the crap out of the dude that's the good guy? Am I not? But how do I root against what's basically my people? Like, that's another Dan. So I was enjoying that. I'm like, don't embarrass me. You know? Don't embarrass me.
Just keep watching.
I mean, it's bad enough when I was a child. I was practicing crane kicks in 85, 86. I was practicing crane kicks in the bedroom. Everybody called me Daniel's son. So I have a very close connection to that.
Right.
So I don't know where the story's gonna go, but hear me out.
I do. I already watched it.
Hear me out. I think my theory is Mr. Miyagi's coming back. He's not dead.
Mr. Miyagi's dead.
No, he's not dead. He's coming back. He's not dead. Pat Morita is dead.
Right.
I don't know if Mr. Miyagi's dead. I watched them do CG jobs of Mark Hamill on Luke Skywalker's face, which looked horrible. But you know, Mr. Miyagi could come back. I mean, what's Bobby Lee doing? He'd make a great Mr. Miyagi.
You never know. It could happen.
Did you watch? You said you still have not watched any of the regular Karate Kid.
I think I watched Karate Kid
sometime
when
in your
I was younger. I just don't remember.
Right.
It's not a movie that sticks out like Indiana Jones or Star Wars. Like, I remember bits and pieces of it, but I don't know that I remember.
And then they rebooted it. I would
Jackie like to go back and watch it again. I just haven't done that.
Yeah,
yet.
Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith did a reboot. Yeah, it was excellent. It was excellent. Jackie Chan was an amazing Mr. Miyagi and stuff like that. So everything was a callback in that show. The cars and everything. Right. The cars from all the movies. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did you get that thing here from Okinawa? Like, what the heck? I am super enjoying the show. So I recommend Cobra Kai. I still have a season left. I probably won't put the season back on until this weekend because I want to be able to just to have them play all at once. I don't want to get too much into it, but I do recommend. Right. I like it. It's good, and then we'll be able to talk about it more when you finish it. When I'm caught up. Yeah. And from the first season to the second season, the 80s have never been back stronger than ever. Oh my gosh! And you kids, when I say kids, anybody younger than us, and you're what you think the 80s are like and what they really were like. Not the same thing. It was a highlight reel. It was 4 or 5 memorable things about the 80s. And then blown up into out of control. We all didn't have Lisa Frank items. We all weren't crimped hair. We all didn't wear the little things on the side of our shirts. It wasn't all like that. A lot of it was, but it wasn't all like that. We didn't all have a Walkman. I mean, we did, but we didn't all have a Walkman. So it's interesting to see how blown out they make it and how 80-fied they make it. But I am having a good time. I will say that I am definitely having a good time.
They've been doing a good job making those shows, and they bring back just enough nostalgia that makes you want to watch it. Like they did with Stranger Things. There was a lot of the reason I think people watch Stranger Things because they wanted to see what was going on in the background.
You know what? I can agree with that. That is true. In this show, they did a real good job at I want to punch that LaRusso guy in his face.
Right. And they kind of made him out to be the bad guy.
I like the other thing. Another thing is, all this show needs to blow up the show, make it go away, is an adult to step in and go, look, what are you three fighting? What is going on here? You guys are out of control. And then the hardcore bad guy of the show, the hardcore main bad guy of the show, who's super hardcore, goes in one scene, because you can't show weakness. If he's going to be the hardcore villain, you can't show weakness. He goes back to this halfway house he's staying at, and the girl running the halfway house lets him know and reads him the riot act about being loud and coming in late, and he's apologizing and stuff. And I'm like,
right?
You know what this tells me? You guys are all a bunch of big babies, and you guys are all starting this turf war over some beef over 30 years ago, and you're bringing these children into it. Would you two just stop?
It's pretty much the preface of the
And why
show.
are these adults hanging out with kids after hours all this time? The kid leaves his house to go hang out with the adult at like 9:30 at night. Nobody's concerned? Nobody? You know, you're doing karate, then later at night you smell like high karate. You know, like the perfume. So like, I don't know. So there's a lot of things that are going on there, but I am enjoying it. They can't.
I liked it.
Can't do it
like
for
I said, I
every
liked
show,
it.
but this show is good. Like you can't bring back the Facts of Life. I know they already did it, but you can't like reboot the Facts of Life or, you know, like the Brady Bunch or anything. You can't.
Yeah, there's definitely shows that don't need to come.
The Brady Bunch was cringe though. They brought it back for a Christmas episode when they were years later. It was so crazy. Bobby was in a wheelchair and he had a mustache because he got in a car accident trying to race cars. Oh my god, it was like really crazy. It was crazy. Like Jan was getting a divorce or something, or she was in a thruple. I'm not sure.
It was like Family Matter. No, not Family. Full House. They brought back as Fuller House.
I watched that. I watched the first 2 seasons of it. I watched
the first couple of episodes and I couldn't.
I liked it. It was fun.
It wasn't bad. It just wasn't something I wanted. Like I said, I don't get to watch a lot of TV.
Right, so it's got to be
wasn't
quality.
Something that I.
Yeah, see, well, I would just put it on the background. Or, you know what, I got caught playing season 2 at the bike shop. I would play things at the bike shop that would make customers, like, go, like, what the heck's going, like, Wayne's World and Napoleon
Right.
Dynamite. And I would put that on until somebody would come in and they would just, like, be like, dude, this is a bike shop. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, right?
I'm
right?
here 50 hours a week, or 40-something, 48 hours a week I'm here. So I'm
Right.
going to put on what I want to put on. And yes, this is The Price is Right. And yes, that is Drew Carey. Yes. So I did watch a little bit of that show. I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Right.
I'm a sucker for that show.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's this guy called The Big Show. He's a wrestler, and he's got The Big Show where it's a family show just like Full House, but he's an ex-wrestler and stuff. He's like 7 feet tall.
God.
I love it. It's got so much innocence and charm. I watch shows like that. That's me. So Jess and I have been on this app. Well, more Jess than me. Have been on this app called Clubhouse. And if you don't know what Clubhouse
I've
is,
been
don't
on
worry
it
about
too
it because
much.
you're not invited.
Yeah, you have to get invited, and I've noticed because I had a couple people ask me about it, and I had to explain. It's not a fan or an audience app, if that makes sense. It's like a corporate app. Does that make sense?
I think that's just what we see of it. I see a lot of groups forming in it. A lot of groups.
I do too. I see a lot of like groups and things like that, but like for what we're using it for, I see it more of like the more of like a corporate thing. It's like the head people of the channels are the ones that are on there that are talking.
we're going to investor meetings. We're not. I say that lightly. Like,
Yes.
we're going to the stock meeting. Nothing fun for you guys.
Vid
You guys
Summit.
do not want to
It's
follow
Vid-
us into Vid Summit. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's Vid Summit, not VidCon.
Right. And it could be used
Yeah.
for anything. Like you said, there was game shows on there. My friend Kochan in Japan, I gave him his invite because they were trying to put on like performances.
Oh,
You know,
right.
he's a guitar player, so they were putting on music and stuff like that. But it's usually not for dilly-dallying, and then there's no really to go on that thing. There's other sites.
Right.
There was another site called Stereo, and it's exactly the same thing. So I wonder how many people
Yeah.
are also on that. So anyway, so Elon Musk was going to have this chat at 10 o'clock at night. You told me all about it. I got some more invites, and I sent one to Blake. We were going to listen to it. It's audio only. You can't record anything. People ended up doing it because it's on YouTube. So I don't know how that works.
Right. So you can't record anything without permission from the moderators of the room.
Okay, so maybe a button gets clicked or something.
I guess the Clubhouse CEOs have now said, or the people, they had a Clubhouse thing that said if the moderators of the room say it's okay to record the session, you're allowed to record the session. But you're not supposed to screen record, like if you just have a recorder. But anyway, yeah.
I did.
so-
I screen recorded audio to show you one day of like, oh, look, I'm like in this room or something like that. And a red banner came
Right.
up. It's like, nope, don't.
Yep.
So Elon's going to do his chat. I'm excited. I'm like, this will be fun. I send a link to Blake. He logs in and stuff. And boy, did he bring down the house. I don't know how many people are allowed to be in a room.
Right.
But it was
I don't know
full.
either.
It wasn't working. It was crashing. I haven't had an app crash in ages. It was
Right.
not working. It was like, sorry, you can't get in the session until someone leaves. So I sat there the whole time and just hit enter. No, I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody else was doing. I sent it to you because I thought it might be interesting for Blake, And I'm like, it's going to be 1 in the morning here. And there's no way I'm staying up for this.
It's not like he's going to say anything like.
Well,
for us anyway.
And like I had to get up early in the morning, and I figured if anything, it's going to be all over the internet. Whatever he said anyway.
Blake said somebody recorded it and it was already up. It was already up right after it was over. So he said he just watched it. Blake loves Elon Musk. If he could trade me,
I know
he would trade me. He would trade me in for Elon Musk. He would.
So I thought that was really interesting. It was interesting to see, like, I had the conversation with a couple other people of, like, what is this going to do for the app? You know, because the app's not available for Android at all yet. They're still saying another 3 to 6 months before it's going to be available for Android. Okay. So I think that, like, it just brought a lot of attention to the app. I think they had a lot of new people that signed up for it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're still figuring out ways to monetize it and all these things so that they can actually make money with what they're doing. So,
I saw that
I think this was a step in making it a valid thing.
Right. I think I saw that they got round 2 funding, which makes me.
I think they did. I think they got round 2 funding. Yeah.
That makes me scared. Yeah. What'd you do with that first round of funding, and where's the return on that?
There's probably is no return on that.
And that made me scared with Vidi too. And when Vidi did B round funding, they were asking. Evan asked me, right? It's been too long now. Like, hey Dan, you want in on this app? And I'm kind of like, yeah, I do. Can I scrounge up like $1,000 to kind of like put this together? And I couldn't. And soon as round B finished, they paid off round A, and then they, and then they took a bath. Yeah. And they took a bath after that.
That could happen, but there's been like a lot of rumors going around where, like, because you can. If you host a room 3 days a week for so many weeks in a row, then you get access to opening your own club. So you have an actual club where you can, like, have a themed club. Like, I'm in a pet influencer club. I'm in multiple YouTube creator clubs. I'm in some Instagram clubs. And then instead of, like, just having when you log on to Clubhouse and there's, like, the rooms with people in them, there's, like, a club room with people in it. With the clubs, you can schedule your talks. So you can be like, on this day at this time, we're going to talk about this. These are the moderators that are going to be there. Like, I was on the pet influencer one, and I was one of the moderators. So, like, before it went up, and then that notification will go out ahead of time to anybody that's a member of that club. If you want to be on at this time, here's what we're talking about. Here's who's going to be on the panel. You know, here's what's going on. Mm-hmm. So now they're saying that part of the funding thing, one, they want to start being able to tip the mods. So kind of like super chats on YouTube. Okay. Which would work. You know, if you like what your moderators are doing, you appreciate the information they're giving out, you know, give them $1 or $2. Give them a tip.
At 30%. That's the standard, right? That's the industry standard. 30% of everything.
Pretty much. They'll get 30%, you get 70%.
Yes, and then taxes.
So they were talking about that. And then the other thing they were talking about is having club access, making it so that you can have a club that's public, but then you can, kind of like a Patreon or a membership on YouTube, you can have a private club where you have to pay to gain access to those clubs and be a part of them.
Oh, okay.
So it's still an invite system. They can still deny you if they don't want you in there, but you would have to pay to be a part of it. And it would be the same thing. You would have to, you know, pay. They would get so much percent and you would get so much percent.
All these places that you're going to right now, getting all this information from, is going to be paywalled the second that they can monetize it.
Right. And it's like, it's not all of it's going to be paywall, but like there's some validity to that because like I've been on there multiple times talking YouTube, and sometimes you get in there and it's like there's people in YouTube at this level and then there's people in YouTube at this level. And when you put everybody in a room together, this level of people wants this level of questions and answers. Like, let's talk about advanced stuff. And then you get somebody that comes up and they're like, so how do I start a YouTube channel? All these people that are talking and that are giving out information are way past that.
Right.
And now you've got the people that come up and ask questions about, well, how do I upload to YouTube Shorts? You know, something you could simply Google and find the answer to. But now you're taking this room of insanely talented people and you're answering basic questions. So I feel like having clubs and having paywalls and things like that can help. And it's not that the people that are just starting shouldn't have access to that. It's that the people that are just starting aren't ready for that yet. Like, when you're just starting a YouTube channel, you don't want me to explain to you how my analytics work and how you look at CTR and how you do, like, you know, your AVD and your CTR and you have no idea what I'm talking about.
We see it at VidSummit. There's a handful of people that go there at VidSummit.
Yes.
They get the crud beat out of them, and even day one, they look like that they've gone through war And there's just
Yes.
too much information, stuff that doesn't pertain to them. By the time they even build to get to that stage, that information's gone. But you see them, they're just like wide open and just like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, and their brain's overloaded and they're stimulated because of the possibilities.
Yes. And so much of the information that they're learning isn't usable because they're not to that point yet. They're like, oh, well, I can't do this yet because I'm not to this point. So I feel like having a paywall will kind of make it so that, if people want to have like an intro to YouTube club. So all these TikTokers that are coming over to YouTube now because of YouTube's shorts. And I've been in so many shorts room, and that's the biggest question. You do a panel on YouTube shorts, and everybody's talking and we're all talking good, and then you get the TikToker that comes in that's never used YouTube. And their first question is, well, how do I do YouTube Shorts? Well, how do I make a YouTube channel?
Right.
Well, how do I make a thumbnail? So it's the basic question. So I feel like if you did like a paywall in different clubs, you could have a beginners for YouTube channel, a beginners for YouTube club. You guys don't know how to use it. You want to know how to use it. Here's the place where you go for the beginners questions. Then you have the intermediate. Then you have the advanced. And the advanced is going to be like, the people that have been doing it forever. Like Sean Cannell was in a room I was in the other day. You're in rooms with YouTube gurus and, people with over 1 million subscribers, people who've been doing this and have so much knowledge that I could spew all this knowledge out to you. But if you're just starting out, none of it's useful to you yet. Not that it won't be useful to you in the future, but you're learning the wrong information that early in.
Yeah.
So I feel like paywalls and things like that can be beneficial for certain things on Clubhouse. And there's always still going to be free stuff on there. There's always still going to be people that are going to be willing to get on there and just talk. I'm not getting paid to do any of it now, and once a day I try.
On there a lot. Like, I don't know how your jaw hasn't fallen off, but it's like you said though. A lot of these, like, we'll just use TikTok as an example. A lot of these TikTokers are popular, famous instantly, but they do not know how to, we'll call it social media or YouTube or anything. They don't. Yeah. So they're there with all the funding and all the stuff that they need with zero experience. And even I think about the panel you were on or somebody else that we were doing or something. There was TikTokers in there and they just don't know. Nothing wrong. Nothing. They just don't know. But they've made it. But they're famous.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I found really interesting is a lot of TikTokers, and I'm not picking on TikTokers, I am one. A lot of TikTokers that only have done TikTok come in there and they're like, well, I have, 4 million followers on TikTok. And then the YouTubers are like, well, how are you monetizing that? And the TikTokers are like, I don't. I still have a full-time job. And you're like, if you had 4 million followers on YouTube, you should not have a full-time you wouldn't job. Still have your full-time job. Right. Like you would. So there's like such a disconnect between the two platforms that I think really, if you're not like, I am I introduce myself in these rooms a lot as this now. I am a multi-platform creator. When you say you're a creator, a lot of people that's one thing. When you're in these rooms, I'm a multi-platform creator. I am creating on TikTok. I'm now back to Snapchat again. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm on all of them. It blows my mind how few people cross-platform promote. It blows my mind that so many of these people, like these TikTokers that get on here and they're like, I have 4 million followers. I sell merch. Well, it's great. And you can make money selling merch, but what else are you doing to like, if this is what you want to do? Again, there's a difference between wanting to do this for a living and wanting to do this as a hobby. If you want to do this as a hobby, ignore everything I say anyway. If you want to do this for a living, you have 4 million followers on TikTok. What can you do with that audience? Where can you take them to then monetize what you're doing and build a brand? You can,
a little bit.
And a business around it. You can, 100%. You can, but you have to have a little bit of knowledge. Right. It's hard to take... And this is why I always tell people treat every platform as its own platform. It's hard to take people from TikTok and push them to YouTube because that's not what they're used to. They don't want to watch long form content. They want to watch short form content. Introducing YouTube Shorts. Now that YouTube Shorts is there is, I heard a really cool statistic last night. There's 37 million YouTube channels. Okay? Big number, 37 million. How many YouTube channels do you think are using Shorts?
I was told 500 million last time we were at VidCon. There was 500 million. I don't know how inflated it is.
No, not TikTok, using Shorts.
How many
Shorts
using
is new.
Shorts out of?
How many channels are actually using YouTube Shorts right now out of 37 million?
I would say like maybe 5 million.
Less than 500,000.
Less than 500,000. Yeah, I mean that's YouTube's hiding Shorts.
And that's the thing. Like it's so new. And people are now on it. Out of those 37 million channels, less than 500,000 channels are using it. And that's why people are blowing up on shorts.
Right. Enjoy it before every other video you see is just a re-upload from TikTok also. Instagram is the biggest thing that I see on that. Whenever I try to watch the short form Instagram content, it's 100% re-uploaded TikToks. There's no like new content on there at all. But you know, when you tell me that you have 1 million subscribers on TikTok, to me, that means 100,000 on Facebook. Like, TikTok numbers are so inflated.
Yes.
So inflated by at least 2. So if you tell me you have 10 million on TikTok, to me, that's maybe 1 or 2 million if you were on YouTube.
Right. It's like views on Facebook.
So it's
when you say I have 1 million views on Facebook, that's meaningless because Facebook counts 3 seconds as a view.
Right, and so
you may have 1 million views on Facebook, but how many people
TikTok.
Watch for longer than 30 seconds?
Right. So does TikTok. When you go and you're like, I have 450,000 impressions. Oh, that's 450,000 people that when they scrolled, it landed on your picture before they could thumb and scroll again. Exactly. Yeah, so I'm not quite impressed by TikTok numbers as I am on YouTube numbers, which might be discouraging to people trying to go from one platform to another because they're not going to get the reach.
Right. Well, it's not to say that they're not, because if what they're doing on TikTok is working, you can transfer that over. I mean, you really can. My biggest tips for people like that are transferring over from TikTok, trying to get into Instagram Reels or trying to get into YouTube Stories, is before you do anything, take your most popular, the stuff that you know that is working, and get that over there first. Get your TikTok logos off of it. Don't upload it with the TikTok logo on it. People are like, but I want the logo on it so people know I'm on TikTok. No, you don't. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that you're on TikTok. I don't even know if it matters these days.
People put out such sloppy content for so many years in the short form things that's just the norm now.
It matters because even on Instagram, the Instagram AI they'll put it out for a certain amount of time, and then when their AI figures out that it has that logo on it, they stifle it. And YouTube's doing the same thing. So you want every video to be formatted for each platform separately.
That makes sense. You know,
otherwise you're just hurting your own growth.
But it's just so sloppy. I mean, look at PewDiePie. Every time I watch a PewDiePie video, my speakers blow out. So now it's okay just to put out crap content. But yeah, man,
when you're that big, I think you can put out whatever you want. I think you can just
put out, whatever you want. I haven't really been watching anything by him. I know he's still around, but...
Yeah, he's still creating content.
I don't know. That guy's so rich off of that content. So, Jess, the other day, somebody posted something somewhere on some form of social media that wasn't TikTok. That the Mighty Ducks are back. Have you seen this?
I saw you were saying that.
Like, they're rebooting it. I couldn't tell if it was a movie or if it's a television show.
Oh, for Disney Plus.
But they're bringing back the Mighty Ducks, like, it's already shot.
Really?
So I started watching a little bit of the trailer, and then I dumped out to be spoiler-free. I dumped out because I don't like, I hate it.
Right.
King Kong versus Godzilla is about to come out, and they showed the last frame of the last fight of the movie in the trailer. I now know who wins.
Right,
Stop it, people. Stop it. So the Mighty Ducks are back. I'm so excited. One of my favorite franchises ever is the Mighty Ducks. I loved the Mighty Ducks movies. I've watched the first 2 a billion times. 3 was weird, where they went to college.
Right.
But 1 and 2 were great movies. I liked it. Do you have a favorite Mighty Ducks character?
A favorite what?
Mighty Duck character.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Just overall. You just
I like that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I watched it a lot when I was younger, but I haven't seen it
It's good. I'm not sure who's coming back. I saw Emilio Estevez there. You know, he's in my head, he's probably got Hans's old job, the guy that used to like shop, run the pro shop there. Right, but it was new kids. It looked like the same formula, but I couldn't tell if it was long form or short form content. I couldn't tell if we're getting a series out of it or if we're just getting a movie. But I'm super excited.
That is pretty crazy, like that, and I hope it's like you said. I don't think it's going to be like a reboot. I think it's just going to be an addition to.
It's got continuity for sure. It's got canon for sure because it shows Emilio Estevez. He's older and he's still around. And then I think somebody was just like, "You forgot what you were, coach," and then it shows a little flashback and stuff. So it's coming back.
It's Cobra Kai.
It's Cobra Kai. It's Cobra Kai. It's coming back, and I am happy. I love the Ducks movies. It was a little hard as a hockey player, like in '93 when they made the Ducks. It was the Ducks and the Ottawa Senators. Those both came to the league at the same time. And everybody's like, the Disney's Mighty Ducks, this is going to be so dumb and stuff. And, it took them maybe 9 or 10 games before they even won a game. They sucked the first year. They weren't doing too well. They had Wild Wing, which was their mascot. He had a little ramp with a fire hoop through it. He fell through the fire hoop. Like, it was just a disaster. They weren't really taken seriously. They had some okay players, but they were still a joke. When we'd go to the games, you had the quack call. Remember the duck quack, 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 quack?
Yes,
Mr. Ducksworth?
Yep.
They sold the quacks there. I still have my quacker somewhere. You'd blow into it. That was ridiculous. The arena was just quacking the whole time, but they finally got rid of those. Right? So it was great. It's down in Anaheim. It's a brand new arena. And then they just kept bleeding money. Like, my gosh, they bled money. And then they sold the Mighty Ducks. And now they're just the Anaheim Ducks. They're not associated with Disney anymore or anything like that. They're just the Ducks. So they're taking it a little bit more seriously. They've won a Stanley Cup or two and stuff like that. But I was super stoked that they did that. And the movies were made out down here by like the Isoplex and stuff, like down in LA.
Right.
So some of the equipment from the actual movie was donated. And so some of the kids that I played hockey with had the equipment that were used in the Mighty Ducks movie. And it was crazy. We'd stare at their helmets like, this is the helmet that whatever the kid used. And we would just stare at it. It had like the iTech like plastic cage on it. We're like, whoa. It just looked like equipment to me. They could have been lying.
Right.
They totally could have been lying. But it was they showed up. This poor family showed up with a bunch of new equipment from the Mighty Ducks. So they donated the equipment, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm stoked.
That's pretty exciting. When's that one supposed to launch?
I'm stoked. You know what? I don't know. I saw it on there.
And then you were like, click away, no spoilers.
Yeah, I said March. It was like March or May or something like that. The Mighty Ducks Disney Plus. No, it's not the Mighty Ducks 4. Don't call it the Mighty Ducks 4. And please.
Well, that's probably what they're putting out, like when people are writing articles on it.
No, yeah, please.
If it's the Mighty Ducks 4, though, that means it would be a movie. Not a series.
Disney Plus releases trailer for new The Mighty Ducks series. Yes, feature the return of Coach
series.
Bombay. Okay. All right. Emilio Estevez looks all right. I liked him. He was my favorite person of that really jacked up family.
But when is it coming out?
Date announced. Date announced. March 26th it starts.
So next month.
It starts March 26th. All right.
Yeah, I just saw the trailer that says March 26th. Yep.
I'm excited. Yeah. It's called The Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Thursday, starring Emilio Estevez.
I think that's probably my favorite thing. Like when we found out, last year, whatever it was, that Disney Plus was coming out, I think that was the thing I was most excited for with Disney is Disney owns so many properties. And there's so much they could do with it. And the fact that now, instead of having to do this thing where they launch a whole entire movie, now they can actually make these series. Like, I really hope they bring back Once Upon a Time, but they won't. But they should.
Disney owns it?
Yeah, Disney owns one.
Maybe so.
Disney owns ABC.
Okay.
Yeah, Disney owns ABC. Once Upon a Time was good, but as soon as what was her name? The main character left, the show just got weird. But
maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe they'll reboot it because that seems to be the theme that they're doing. I saw that Ryan Reynolds set the internet on fire with his tweet over last week, where there was plans for Deadpool 3 because Disney did not own the Deadpool stuff. I think Paramount owned it.
I think so. Yeah.
And then Disney owned it, so they're gonna retool Deadpool 3. It's still gonna be rated R from what I hear, but it's gonna be a different storyline. So Ryan Reynolds said, "Oh, since they're changing things up, let me tell you what Deadpool 3 was supposed to be."
Oh, God.
And it was supposed to be a road trip with him and Logan. And it was going to be a cross-country or whatever road trip with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. It would have been great. And now the internet's like, I don't care what story Disney wants to make. I want that story. I want a road trip story between Deadpool and Logan. And I thought that would be great. Old man Logan just being annoyed all the time.
We've seen what the power of the internet can do in changing movies. So maybe Disney will be like, they're right.
Maybe they'll take a tip from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Maybe. But they're coming out with Sonic the Hedgehog too, so apparently that movie did well.
I liked part 1 was just fine for me. I watched it. It's still kiddie-ish, but I watched it and it was just fine. So I don't mind that. So if they would listen to it, if they would listen to Jon Favreau, if they would start listening to give up stuff for a little bit of fanfare, but not too much, and expanding the story, then they'll be okay. But if they start to have too tight of a grip on it and don't let the fans have a little bit of input on it, that's when you get things that are bad. That's when you get really bad Fantastic Four movies. All of them.
Right.
All of them. So hopefully Bombay comes out of retirement. Hopefully there's, hopefully there's other people that'll be in it. Who was the bad guy in them? It was the dad from Son-in-Law. It was yes, but I think he might have passed away, so he might be dead. I saw that Goldberg, he cleaned up his act and he gained some weight and he looks like Goldberg again. Maybe he'll make a cameo. I mean, there's a lot of child actors and actresses that were in that movie, like almost all of them, that are still doing stuff today that are from the Mighty Ducks. I mean, what are we gonna do with Joshua Jackson? Is that his name? Is that Dawson from Dawson's Creek? Paisley.
Yes.
Paisley from Dawson's Creek. He should be in it. There's no reason for him not to be in it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they use like the Cobra Kai throwbacks as well.
It will, yeah. Who's in part 2? Kenan Thompson, who's on Saturday Night Live now. He was in part 2 with the Knuckle Puck. Man, you ain't never heard of the Knuckle Puck? I love it. It was so, yeah. Oh, man. And I'm glad these movies are on Disney Plus, so I might have to throw them on and let them play in the background. So there is so much potential for a franchise that, one, has hockey. That is hard to find. And 2, they slapshotted their way into our hearts when we were younger.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
The Bash Brothers.
I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it.
They're probably working at the deli. So I was so excited when I saw that, to the point where I had to shut it off because I did not want to ruin. Anything.
And knowing Disney Plus, they'll do the thing where they release one episode a week, so you can't binge watch it unless you wait until the end.
And okay, so here's the thing. I'm okay with them doing both. I'm okay with dumping it on me, and I'm also okay with sometimes giving me week in and weeks out. But if you're gonna do this, you gotta only stay within the realms of where you're at. WandaVision. I've been watching WandaVision. Insanely fun. I'm watching WandaVision, and they're already showing stuff from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 episodes in that are insanely spoiler heavy. I don't know if you've seen any of that show at all.
We haven't watched
You've seen
it
previews of it where part of it's in black and white, part of it's not. The first couple episodes is only in black and white. So why would you even show color? Like, why are you spoiling things from me? Why are you showing that weird things are happening? Just stop and leave it alone. Stop. So they blow it when they release things one at a time.
Right.
If they show too much. Even The Mandalorian, as soon as The Mandalorian ends, as soon as Game of Thrones ends, I stop it before it shows me, like, next week on.
Right.
So.
Some people need that, though. Some people need that hook to get them to go to the next thing. Are you yelling at your cat?
Yep, he's in the turtle tank. Yep, he's in the turtle tank, and he's got 2 paws on it, like he wants to get out. This morning he was sleeping, wrapped around like the turtle's there, and he's just like crashed out with the turtle. He hasn't hurt the turtle yet, and I don't know if he can or not. But as soon as it's like a toy to him, then it's over. The turtles are heroes in a half shell.
Right.
I was thinking
Where's your clicker?
I was thinking about getting him some mutagen. I could just juice him up a little bit.
Right. Where's your clicker to get him away from it?
Oh, he's gonna come over here and sit and want a treat. He'll come and he'll sit here and be like, "Is it treat time yet?" I'm like, "Mm-mm."
Yeah.
It is not. It's been crazy. Being home a whole year, little over a year and stuff, I've really gotten close to the cats. And the cats have gotten close to me. They like me more. They'll cuddle me more. I've learned more about them, more of their personalities. They depend on me. I depend on them to keep me sane. Mouse has really helped. Even though he's a terror, and he's crazy and stuff, he is just, he's like my dog. I can play with him. I can smack his butt. I can be rough and stuff like that. And he's really kept me sane. And Rizzo's been the next one that's been really close to me lately. She's always right around here wanting pets and stuff like that,
I could say the same thing about Kira, but yeah, she's still just a pain in the butt.
Is Memphis just your footrest?
Yeah. She's actually sleeping over on the futon right now.
Nice.
She likes to curl up on the pillow over there.
Nice footrest. So Jess, this brings us to our thumbnail topic of the week, which we missed talking about this last week, but not this week.
Did.
I only made a comment about it because it was just happening the day we recorded.
Yeah.
The stock market's gone crazy and gone mad.
The stock market has gone crazy.
Well, Reddit's gone mad.
And the stock market. And the Robinhood apps. And the people that don't understand how the stock market works. And,
I only have just enough to be dangerous. Last week when you and I were talking after the podcast, we were looking at GameStop and deciding on whether if we wanted to buy it for $98 or not before it shot up the other day to $400. Here's a problem though. So like, let's say I buy it at $100 and it goes up to $400. I have to find somebody willing to buy it at $400 thinking it's going to go up still, right? So at some point, everybody's buying it and nobody's going to want to, everybody's buying it and nobody's going to want to buy it from someone who's selling it. And that's when it drops, right?
Yeah. Well, when people, what happens is when you put it up for $400 and then you sell and you pull out your $400, it starts to drop because everybody's selling it. So the investment is dropping because you're pulling out money in this company and now it's dropping.
But in order for me to get my $400, you have to be willing to buy it for $400. Like there has to be a buyer for a seller, right? I can't just sell it back to TD Water Place and then they just give me cash.
I don't know. Whenever I've sold stocks, I hit sell and it just sells immediately.
Okay. So I saw they were doing that. I saw they were doing it with AMC. They were trying to do some penny stocks. There was a heads up Blake gave me like 2 days ago about something I should invest in because it's going to be worth a lot of money, and it is right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
You should have done it.
Is it time to get rich, or is it time to hold on to your money? Because this is scary, and this is all going to end bad.
Well, I think that the thing is right now is there are people that are clueless on how all of it works. And they're going and they're buying stock. And then, like, you know, anybody that bought it when it was $438 or whatever it was when it was high, it's now $90. They're now Wolf of Wall Streeting it. They're freaking out because you just lost all this money. So you have to be smart about it. Like, you have to... There is money to be made in short-term investments, but it's not just like I buy GameStop stock at $10, it goes to $100, and I sell it, I made $90. Yes, sort of. You made $90, but then there was brokerage fees. So, you know, and I think on Ameritrade it's like $7. So now you're paying your $7 brokerage fee. Oh, and then you also have to pay taxes on that. So you made all this money, but you have to pay taxes on it. And you usually have to pay either like capital gains tax or whatever it is, depending on how much money you make, depending on how much you've sold.
It's under over a year. Under a year, it's 20%. Over a year, it's 10%.
Under a year is short sale. Over a year is long sale. Is a long hold. So, you know, now you've got, you know, another 20% to whatever that you also have to pay into taxes. So now you've made even less money. So I feel like a lot of people are doing it thinking they're going to make all this money, and that's not exactly... Right. I mean, not to say that can't happen. Jamie and I bought stock in Activision, and we, you know, spent $300, and it's worth $1,900.
But you're not trying to flip it. You're not trying to... No, you're not trying to flip it. You're holding on to it.
We held it long term, so we've held it for a long time. Same thing. I have DTE stock. My DTE stock has what's called dividend reinvestment. I don't touch that stock. At the end of each dividend, when the company says, we made this much money, and all of our shareholders are now going to get a dividend. So you get a portion of the money that the company made as a whole. Mm-hmm. Well, I have what's called dividend reinvestment. So when they send me the $20,
it just goes back.
I buy $20 more stock. So it just keeps rolling.
Right.
You know, and years ago when I was younger, because my grandpa gave it to me when he passed away, and I think we started off with like $2,000 worth. And there's, I think, $11,000 or $13,000, somewhere like that, in that account. We've never touched it. It just sits there. It's an energy stock, so as long as DTE doesn't do anything stupid like Enron, it should be fine.
Yeah, my great grandma had like Nabisco stock from like the 20s or something, and then when she passed, they were like, "Oh, that's a pretty good money."
Yeah. So like the thing is, you know, when people are interested in investing in the stock market, my biggest things I always tell people is start young, start when you're young, and buy things that you're interested in. You don't have to buy a lot, but like buy things that you're interested in. You know, okay, I'm interested in McDonald's. Buy some McDonald's stock. I'm interested in Tesla. Buy some Tesla stock.
Oh, yeah.
Because the things that are popular and that you're interested in when you're younger, most companies don't just go under for no reason. You know, you can kind of watch and see what's happening in the market. But a lot of times when these are the new popular things that are happening, look at Snapchat. Snapchat stock less than a year ago was like $11 a share, and I had a friend of mine that said buy Snapchat stock, and I did the same thing everybody else said. They said Snapchat's dead. Nobody uses Snapchat. Snapchat stock is now $53 a share. If I would have bought it when it was $10 a share, what's it at now?
Right now it's $59.61, but it was, you know, all the way up until 2020 it was about 25 to 30. It even dipped during the time where they had they invested all their money in their glasses, and the glasses failed. And I even thought that was the end of Snapchat. But no, this thing I can't really show. I guess I can't show it on the screen today. I can't show it on the screen today. It's an insane. Here I can show you. It's an insane dip and a huge rise. Yeah. But then that's gonna fall too.
Well, you don't know that.
Then that's the thing, right? But it just depends. Okay, so when I was working at NASA, everybody was like, you have to buy Apple and you have to buy Walmart. And since then, it's like tripled since then, right? Like ridiculous. It's like hundreds of dollars now to buy each one of those pieces of stock. But then you get people like Zynga, who, if you guys remember Zynga or don't know what Zynga is, they did Farmville and all those games. They were the first gaming thing on Facebook. It was the first game. And they publicly traded and they folded.
Yeah. And it's not to say that won't happen. So you really have to be smart with your investments. So what's scary right now is GameStop is going out of business.
Mm-hmm. That industry is going out of business.
It's going out of business. They might be able to convert what they do to something else, but the reality of it is that they are going to go out of business. So the dangerous part of it is all these people have taken and inflated this stock. It's an interesting thing. And then you have the people that are like, oh, we're sticking it to the rich people. And I'm always like, it's not just rich people that buy stock.
No, you're hurting GameStop.
You're hurting the company more than anything else. You're making it so these hedge fund people and so these rich people are going to lose money. But so are the little guys. So are the little guys that bought So is the guy who had GameStop stock because somebody bought it for him for his birthday when he was younger. Like, you're also hurting those people.
Yeah, there's people that were buying it for $2 and $3. Like $2 and $3 but back like not even that long ago. But they're going out of business. The last two consoles have threatened all the way up until launch day almost to go and they did it this year where they have one that takes disc and one that doesn't. And they've been trying to get rid of discs because when I buy a game for $60 and I sell it to GameStop and then for $10 and they sell it for $50, the company gets no money. They didn't get my money.
Right.
They got money. So people try to think, is that stealing? Are you allowed to do that? Are you not allowed to do that? Right. It was a big old thing. It went to court for a while. And then the game companies are like, we're just going to start doing digital, which they're almost all there. As soon as we get enough people to go on board and buy it, then GameStop is dead. Yeah, you're gonna only have
unless
places.
They can redevelop they would have to restructure everything they do. They would really have, and become more like Steam or become, one of these digital platforms that's selling the games where they get where you can still buy from them and the game companies get a percentage. It's no different than when the game is $60 and you go buy it at Walmart. Walmart gets a percentage of what they're selling the game for. It's not like the game company gets that whole $60. Right. So GameStop would have to go to a fully digital format where that's what they do, where you can still go get, and then they can run their own sales and they can run their own specials and they can run their own launch day things, but they would have to restructure, their mall stores are dead, their stores, that's not gonna keep them alive. Yes. And until they can really figure that out, they're gonna go under. I mean, they're on the way, and then
they're going under anyway. They can't. It's too late. Steam's already got it locked down. These other places got it locked down. There was 2 GameStops in my mall and one across the street from the mall at one point, and now we have one that's barely open. The thing about GameStop is GameStop doesn't own anything. All they do is sell other people's stuff. They don't have anything to show for themselves. Nobody's wearing a GameStop shirt. Nobody's got a GameStop branded thing in their hand. It's just it's gonna die. It's gonna die like Toys R Us. Yep. It's gonna die like KB Toy Store. And we've watched it die forever. Those places used to be jamming. There used to be Electronic Boutique. There used to be Funko Land. There used to be all kinds of stuff. And now there's one place on the boulevard where the guy does retro games. Yep. And that's what the GameStop's gonna end up being. Like you have. Yeah, you have one of those guys.
We have Chaotic Games, and that's what it is. It's all the retro and the old stuff.
Otherwise, everything is digital. I have a hard time sometimes wanting to either own it physically or digitally. If it's a system like my Switch, I love my Switch. So I don't mind things being digital because I will always have a Switch around forever and these games. Some of the other game consoles is like, I can't resell some of these games because I've purchased them digitally. And that's the thing. As soon as you buy it digitally, you can't resell it. And they do incentive things. Like I can only buy the disc for hockey. But if I wanted a special edition where I get sent stuff in my hockey mail every couple weeks. Then I have to buy their like $100 digital edition only, not a physical edition. So they're grooming us to not need physical stuff. So GameStop's going to go out. So what does GameStop do as a company? So if I'm GameStop and you're going, dude, my stock's worth $400 a share right now, do they take that clout and then go borrow money, or they do stuff, or do they just go like, why are you attacking me? And
they can try. The problem is if they took the value of their company and tried to borrow against it, they're still, you know, they could take the value of their company and try to borrow money against it.
I'm not letting you borrow the money.
Yeah, and then they would still go, you know, still file for bankruptcy. So it's interesting. It's interesting to watch it happen. It's interesting to see it. It's the thing that I like about it the most, regardless of what's happening. I feel like it's gotten a lot of younger people who've never invested in the stock market, interested in it, and they're learning more about it, and they're learning how things work. You know, even like Dogecoin or whatever started going up. You know, the cryptocurrency, because a lot of people are into that, but they're not necessarily into the stock market. So now I feel like people are getting a little bit more into that, and I feel like there is a lot of money to be made in the stock market, and you don't have to be some hedge fund guy or some rich person to make money off the stock market.
No, you just have to watch TV, but people are getting into it for the wrong reasons though. Like this is not Wolf of Wall Street. When I was at NASA, we had it's VSC, virtualstockexchange.com. It's still there. You can set up it's a stock market. You can set it up with all your buddies, you get all their email addresses, you start with however much money you want, and then you battle against what's going on for the day. Yes. So all you have to do is watch like Bloomberg and stuff like that, and it will tell you what's going on. Like I said, the one time I did really well, the guy came on there and talked about how they just got the contract to do all the taser guns for police forces throughout America. It was Tazar. And then I got to work and I bought all the Tazar stock that I could with all the money. I was all in, which was hard, but it's virtual money. And Tazar stock shot up 300% and I sold it and I won. Like, they give you bits and pieces and stuff, but you could die by the sword. I wanted to take $1,000 and put it in GameStop. Let's say I did it when it was almost $100 last week. It goes up to $400. I made $4,000 plus 20% plus taxes and stuff. I was only going to barely double my money on a huge, for me, every penny I owned. You know, it would have to do phenomenal and get out. So it's not, it sounded great in the beginning, but it's really not as much money as you think.
Stocks, I think for the average individual is better when you run a long form game. Really. Yes. When you invest in things that are like, I have energy stock. I have energy stock for a reason. You're not shutting off my electricity. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not shutting off my gas. So I own energy stocks, you know, again, unless you're Enron.
Right.
You know, I invest in energy stocks. We invested in Activision before it became Activision Blizzard. And the main reason we did it was exactly what I had said earlier. Invest in things you know and love. We played all the Activision games. You know, Jamie owned all these Activision games, and Activision was just blowing up at the time. So we bought into it, and we bought into it early. And it was like, we're going to do it now. And then Activision started to blow up, and then their stock split. So instead of only having, 10 shares or whatever, now he had 20 shares. What happens when it splits is it takes the price and it drives the price back down. So now more people can buy into it again because they want more stockholders. They want more people to do this. So it started to go up again. And then it was just, not that long after that, they acquired Blizzard, and it became Blizzard, Blizzard Activision or Activision Blizzard, whatever they call it now. And the stock just blew up. Like, it just...
Yes, that's a good move.
So you look at, what's the company that owns Fortnite? What's the company that owns Call of Duty? I don't know who owns Fortnite, but who owns Call of Duty? What's the name of that company that owns Call of Duty, Dan?
Treyarch. Well, Treyarch and Activision, Blizzard Activision.
Yep.
Or Activision owns it. Sorry.
Yep.
They own it. So
yeah.
I tried to bring it on the screen, but you can see Sony stock right in November before they announced the new PlayStation. This happens every console. It was under $80 today. Wow, it's $110.
Yep.
So it's shot up, $20, $30, but you knew it was going to happen, and it'll happen every console. It'll go back down, and then when they announce like another console, you know that the stock's going up. So if you can watch those trends, you can buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. But I feel like you have to be educated in it if you wanna play the game, because you can get in trouble really quick.
You can lose a lot of... And the other thing that I have for anybody that's listening that is actually interested in investing in stock, the biggest tip I can give you, especially if you're going to do more short-term stuff, even if you're going to do long-term stuff, say you have $1,000, say you have $100, you want to invest $100, invest your $100 as soon as you make that first $100, add on your percentage and add on your fees, so your first, $127, pull out that $127. You didn't lose anything. You are now playing with the house's money. You invested your money. You made that money. You pulled it out.
Right.
You're now playing with the house's money. You have lost nothing. If the stock soars up to $1,000 and tomorrow it crashes down to $1, you still haven't lost anything.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that people don't understand with the stock market when they're like, I lost all this money. Well, you didn't really lose it if what you invested you already pulled out. You're playing with the house's money.
And if you do it right, you can get that money back not too pretty fast. When we say $100, I think it's $1,000. You start with $1,000. You
don't have to. It was less than it was $150 that we invested when we first invested in Activision.
Oh, my bad. I just thought that's what it took to open a TD Waterhouse account.
I think to open those accounts, I think you have to do that.
Yeah, but once you're going on it, because not all this stuff's, some of these stocks are $10, $15, and it's fun. If you like watching it, it's fun. If you watch the news and you're all riled up about the news, you might as well get some stocks so then you can really feel like it's a sport. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching the tech companies, watching who's coming out with what. Look at Oculus. The Oculus Rift 2 did really well. I bet Oculus stock is up because it's successful. So you got to try to watch to see what's going good. Anytime Apple's about to, towards the end of the year, Apple stock goes up a little bit because all the new stuff's coming out. And, so you can do it if you want to play that sports game.
And now with apps like Robinhood and what's the other one? Webull. Those ones, you don't have to have $1,000 to get started. You don't have to invest that much to get started. You can
but some of those places are calling time out. They're like, whoa.
A lot of them are because, and a lot of people are really upset about it. But there's a lot of different reasons behind why they're doing that. There's also, I've seen people that are like, I did this trade and this trade and this trade and this trade, and now they've locked me out of my account. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the app. That has to do with what you're doing is you can't do the same thing so many times because that's actually against the law.
I saw that there was some backlash because Martha Stewart got a heads up. Hey, stuff's gonna go down. You should sell all your stock.
That's illegal.
Well, it's good. Hey,
insider
there's
trading.
A cliff at the end of that road. You should probably stop driving.
There's
matter. Nothing wrong with that.
That's insider trading. There's everything wrong with that because when you take the majority stockholders in a company and you give them insider information that the stock is going to drop and they pull out, you have now killed everybody else that invested. And that's the thing, because that's what happens with majority stockholders, and that's what people are so mad about, the hedge fund and the rich people. When the rich people and the hedge fund people get information about stock dropping before the average person, you screw the average person.
I don't like that. If I'm about to get hit in the head with a baseball bat and you yell duck, good looking out. If you don't yell duck and you watch it go down, you're to blame.
But if but you're not watching it go down. That's the thing. The average person is watching what's happening. The insider that's getting the insider trading information isn't watching what's happening. They're being specifically told what's happening, which puts them at an unfair advantage for the average person that doesn't have the insider trading.
I should just keep my money in my pocket.
Things.
I should. So, what do you think? Do you think this was a good move? Do you think? Because I see so much antsiness. I see TikToks. I see Blake and his friends talking about it. They're all like, "Man, we should just put $100 in. We could have taken 1,000 out." It's so much misinformation. A little bit misinformation. Do you think it's better off for you just to keep your money through this whole weird thing that's going to eventually stop? I saw that people were getting upset and calling it some sort of inside trading when they were like, "Hey, we're all going to do this," and then they do this. It's like premeditated inflation, and I think that's illegal.
Well, the way they did it, because it was done in a public forum, that's what makes it not illegal.
Interesting.
It would be illegal if you had 5 billionaires sitting in a room that went, hey, we're all going to do this and screw everybody else. Let's do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Now it's illegal. But the fact that this was on a public forum, in a public announcement, that's why there's really nothing they can do about it. Because everybody had access to the same information.
So Martha Stewart, you guys could have paid attention and got the access to. Oh, Blake's got some news. Blake, everybody. What's up, Blake?
I was going to say, people were dumping $60,000 into the GameStop stock, and then it went up to $469.42. Mm-hmm. And then it instantly, it went the second it got there, it goes down all the way down to $100 and something, almost instantly, because everybody was like, hey, wait a minute, I'm actually going to make money, so maybe we're done sticking it to the man, and I'm going to sell. So a ton of people sold, and then it went back up to 300-ish, and then it just tanked yesterday.
So we stuck it to the man until we were getting paid, and then...
Yeah.
And then now you're the man. That's a good point. And it did drop. It's what, under $100 now.
Yeah, I think it was 90.
People were posting pictures on the subreddit. So it's $100.
It's $100.03 right now. So, but it's done. It's over.
Yeah,
it's starting to go.
That's back what it was at though. Before
it's starting
to.
It's starting to go back up. But yes, okay. So it went back down to. Wow, look at that drop.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
People lost a lot of
money. So am I smarter for keeping my money and not doing this? Or last week when we talked, should I have tried to have thrown stuff in there and got it out? But like I said, if I donated $1,000, I got $4,000 after 20% tax and then brokerage fees and stuff like that.
You still made a couple $1,000s.
But out of what I might have doubled my money.
What else can you do today right now to make a couple $1,000s?
Sold it at $4,000. The highest it was. You would have gotten almost $5,000, and then after 20% tax.
That's a big risk. That's a big risk.
That's the thing. It is a big risk. I'm not
even doing the brokerage fees anymore, so you wouldn't. That's not like a huge thing.
But see, here's the thing. I would have put $100 in there, and I would have taken $1,000 and done it. And then when it went to $150. I'm already wanting to, like, when it went up to $101, I'm already wanting to pull it out. Like, I don't know when to stop. What was the bubble? You know, what's the thing? Same with, like, Bitcoin and stuff like that. You know, it climbed so high, then it climbed again. But, like, where do you stop? Where's that perfect point? Was it $400,
you don't know.
$500? You don't know.
Thing.
And I would have pulled it out at $200. At $200 would have been my max. Done. I doubled my money.
And that's the thing. You can put that in your mind. You can say, all right, at this point, I'm pulling out.
Right.
If it goes up to $400, who cares? So what? You had a decision. You had a goal. You said, at this, I'm doing this. I'm going to make this much money. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's the issue that people have when they play the stock market is they'll do what you're saying. They're like, I'm going to put $100 in. When it hits $200, I'm pulling it all out. I made $100. Oh man, it went to $450. I could have made so much more money. That's not how you cannot think of it like that. And that's the thing. You can't think of it like that because guess what? You couldn't have made more money because you said you were going to pull it out when you did. You made the amount of money that you said you wanted to make. That's where it becomes hard with the stock market.
See, I would never be satisfied. I put $1,000 in and went up to $2,000. I took it out. I doubled my money. Oh my gosh, it's up to like $4,000 now. Now you're a fool for not letting it in there. And what did I make? $500 after taxes if I just doubled my money.
But what else are you going to do today to make $500?
Nothing. I'm going to regret not keeping it in there. I'm going to regret not keeping it in there.
That's the wrong attitude. Don't ever go to the casino.
I only go to the casino when I feel lucky. There's days where I don't feel lucky and I will not gamble. But there's days where I'll feel lucky and I'll gamble and I'll do okay. But no, that's why I don't do that. Because the
stock market is just gambling.
I will have
regret.
That's all it is. I still want
It's calculated risks. You're taking calculated risks.
I feel like everybody's getting rich but me, and I don't think that that's true.
I mean, it is to a point.
People are losing so much money.
People are losing a lot of money. More people are losing than gaining.
No, you're hearing more about the people that are losing than the people that are gaining.
Right.
And they still put more into it.
That's true. We are only hearing the bad stuff. So
yeah.
I don't know. Yep. I don't know. Let's put in stocks. Let's buy some stocks.
Let's do it. What do we love? YouTube.
Right.
If Clubhouse goes public, I'm buying it. I'm doing it. Early adopter is the best time to buy. It goes public, you buy. You hold it, you see what happens.
Those places don't go public. That's not going to go.
YouTube did. Snapchat did. Twitter did. Instagram did. Facebook did. Social media sites.
Those are all
Zynga did.
Apps
Tell me again they don't go public.
I don't know how I'm supposed to make my OnlyFans on Clubhouse. Because that's all it is right now. It's all OnlyFans. Everything's OnlyFans. I saw my friend start their OnlyFans just this last Monday.
Not following the same people I follow on Clubhouse. I don't see that. It's
I had
like the TikTok thing.
I had my friend start her OnlyFans on the first of the month, and you should see the menu. I watched them go from I'm home on a pandemic, maybe I'll make a Twitch channel. I watched the whole cycle all the way up to like, oh, they like me. Oh, I'm popular because of this. Now I have an OnlyFans. I have an OnlyFans, and it's marketed as body positive.
Right.
And that's all I see right now is everybody's OnlyFans, which makes me sad. Like, if I would have an OnlyFans, I don't see any guys with OnlyFans. Do you?
Oh yeah.
Do you really see? Then you are. Yeah. Then I am looking. Then you're looking at places I'm not looking.
Yeah. There's a lot of TikTokers that I follow. Only now they can't call it OnlyFans on TikTok, so it's their accounting page.
Are you serious? You can't say that?
You can't say OnlyFans on TikTok anymore. They don't let you promote your OnlyFans, so people instead are like, oh yeah, I got a new job. It's in accounting.
That's ridiculous. It's just the name of an app. You don't have to have it for...
It's just not what they wanted people to be promoting. But there's a whole bunch of people I follow on TikTok that have OnlyFans account. And it's not, all of it isn't like, like you said, it's not all like, oh, here's naked photos of me. The one girl, one of the girls that I watch, she puts all of her cooking stuff on there. It's on her OnlyFans. You want to watch her cook dinner? That's on her OnlyFans. You want to see what she's doing here? That's on her OnlyFans. It's Patreon. That's all it is. Patreon is the exact same thing. OnlyFans just created it in a better light than Patreon. They did better at it than Patreon did.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's the same
When I hear
thing.
OnlyFans, I think trash now. And when I hear Patreon, I hear subscription model.
Exactly. It's the same thing.
I
OnlyFans is the same
would
thing.
have an OnlyFans in a second. If I could pull it off, I was...
Why don't you?
Because then, like, I don't know, like, I'm not in shape, and then what?
Why do you have to post that?
Oh, no, that's what it's for. I'm making money. If I'm not here just to, like, have fun on another paid subscription. I'm making money. I'm making money. There'd be different series. That's why I can't do it. Oh.
You could.
Go to my OnlyFans for the new Tucked series. No, I can't. But I would do it in a second. I see what these people are making. Some of it's scary. On that list, there was called the boyfriend experience, where you pay enough money that you get texts every day and pictures every day. That's where you get yourself into trouble.
Right.
That's where you get yourself into trouble. I have not purchased anybody's OnlyFans. Like I would tell you. I have not yet, but I see the model up there, and it's a Netflix worth of subscription stuff a month for this stuff. Yeah,
I haven't either. I like I said, I know people that use it. I know people that are making a lot of money using it.
It's fantastic. By all means, like, it is absolutely fantastic.
Right.
You do you. But man, I'm a little envious that I feel like I've missed that train.
Hi, you can do it.
Ooh. I can do it. This is the things. I think
it would be hilarious.
Wow.
You could make a whole spoof OnlyFans account where it's all like fake photos of like spoofing what the people would pay for that.
The guy from Rooster Teeth does it, and he's like really hairy. And he's always doing like lingerie pics, but he's got a beer belly and stuff. And for some reason, it's like that Bert Kreischer guy. For some reason, walking around by society's standard of overweight with no shirt on works for him. Right. It just works for him. He's just everywhere without no shirt on, and it works for him. And it's the same way with that guy. Like, if I could make it work for me, it'd be funny. But I don't think I'm that kind of entertainer. How did we go from the Mighty Ducks are back to Dan's OnlyFans account?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
I've got a restless puppy.
We got a restless Dan here. I gotta go start my OnlyFans here. Let's wrap this. Let's wrap this up, Jess.
Okay.
All right, here we go. That'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Find us every Wednesday on your favorite music app. Check out the video version of the podcast at youtube.com/CC Mouse Podcast, and we'll see you next week. Same mouse time. Same mouse podcast. I try to work an OnlyFans joke into there. I should just leave it be. Let's get out of here while we can. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.
We did a thing.
And it's OnlyFans. All right, bye, everybody.